speak anything, I will never come to know what things you are getting, whether the things you are getting or not. Okay. So if you have doubt, then you can ask in between, but at least speak something. Na? Do participate. This is what expected. Okay, so let me give overview of yesterday's session. And from tomorrow, we will be having we will start our every session with the overview of or the review of previous session. Okay, so be prepared for that. Okay, you have to speak in any way. Otherwise, I never come to know whether you are getting the things or not. Okay, so let me explain you. In the first chapter, which is your introduction to business analytics, we have started with one DMart store example. So if you want to manage your business, you need to have sufficient or enough information with you. Okay, then and then only you can perform accurate analysis on it, and then you can uh, take a better decision for improvement of your business. And that is what we call as the business analytics. It is a process which is used to use different tools and techniques to convert your data into the better decision. Okay. Now, this is what business analytics, why it is important in order to take a better business decision for your business. Okay. How it is important, if you consider the application area of your of this analytics field, that every nowadays it is a need of every business domain. Okay, it may be your sports, finance, government, it may be marketing sector, it may be your manufacturing domain, it may be production domain, any domain you can consider. So there is a large application area for business analytics. Okay, along with that, we have also discussed about the data. Okay, data landscape. So there are five characteristics we have discussed about the data, how data is get generated, that example so we have discussed, and there are different data classifications also we have discussed. So this is what about the overview of the business analytics which we have discussed in the previous session. Okay, similarly now whenever we talk about the business analytics, your project or your analytics basically starts from data. Okay, your every business starts from data, and that data is maintained in a particular data source. Okay, in a particular format which we called as the data source. So our second unit, sorry, not unit, it is second chapter, it is totally based on your data sources. So today we are going to understand what is data sources, how data is to be collected or it is getting collected, etc. Okay, so here I am going to share my screen. Let me know once it is visible to you. Okay. Yeah, is my screen visible?
Yes.
Perfect. Let's start with the data sources. This is your chapter number 2. As we have discussed in the previous session as well, in the field of analytics, basically your data and information, these are two different terms. Okay, data is something which is not a complete data or raw data with you, which is not processed. So that numerical value, representation of some numerical value against some measures or against some category, that is basically verified as the data. When you process that data appropriately, then you will get some information from that data, and that processed data is basically referred as the information. Okay, and why it is important, you need, if you remember the DIKW pyramid. Okay, so that particular pyramid, so wisdom, then knowledge, information and data. Okay. So if you have sufficient data, you will get some information out of it. If you have information, then you'll get some knowledge from that information. Using that knowledge, you can take some decision for your business. Okay. So that's why, in order to take a better business decision, information is important. Perfect. Now this is all about data and information. Next part, that is your database. Okay. So before I explain something to you, let me know your fundamental understanding about database. What is database in your perspective? You can unmute yourself and tell me answer. Otherwise, you can put the things in chat box also. Collection of big data. Good. Anyone else? There are 23 students in a session. I'm really receiving one or two responses. This ratio is very poor. Collection of data and store in computer hardware. Okay, collection of related data. Good. Instead of writing big statement, you can unmute and say. Okay, but it's fine. Using you are using chatbox, that is also fine for me. Perfect. So collection of big data. Okay. So everyone has a good understanding. Even though you are mechanical students, still understanding about database is pretty much good or clear. Perfect. So let me define a database here. A database, obviously, the collection of data, but beyond data collection, something more is there. Okay. So collection of data and storage of that collected data in a very structured way, in a very formatted way, that is what we call as a database. Why to store it in the organized way? Because uh, it will be easy, then it will be easy to end user to access, to update, to modify, to manage your data easily. Okay. And that is what we call as the database. Storage of data in an organized form, that is what we call as the database. Okay. And whenever we talk about a database, most of the people uh, think like data is always get maintained in a tabular form. Okay. But it is not always the case that data is maintained in a tabular form always. This is not the case. Okay. Sometimes right now this particular figure will show you data has been maintained in a tabular format. Tabular format is nothing but the it is stored in the form of rows and columns. Okay. So that is what we refer as a table. But always this will not be the case. Okay. So there are different formats to store data also, like text format, uh, then some other different format also, uh, like in Excel, for example. In a Excel, you can see your data has been stored in a tabular format. There is one more type of data structure like CSV. Like CSV is nothing but comma separated value. Okay. Comma separated value. Okay. So what does it mean? If same information I want to represent using CSV format, then it would be look like this. Okay. So each value is get separated by comma, like Smith, comma John, comma 3, comma 35, comma $280. Okay. And in the second line, the next row information, next line, next row information, and kind of. So this is what we referred as the uh, text format. Okay, and this is called as a common comma separated value. Okay, so it is not always be the case your data is always in the form of table. Okay, yeah. Next one, database is not about a single table. Okay, we cannot refer one table as a single database. It is not always be the case. Your data is made up of a one or multiple table. Okay, and just to tell you one thing. Okay, see here, this is a symbol or representation for database. Okay, and what happened? Um, Most of the time, your database is nothing but the collection of number of tables. One day, like one table is representing the information for product. Second table may be the consist of the data for customer. Next is like attendance, anything. Okay, so collection of all the tables is nothing but your database. Okay, let me give you one idea about the data. So let me know. Suppose this is your data, okay, which is some category like you in your data you are maintaining some region, sales value, profit value, okay, anything. This is your data. Next to that data, if you want to store that data, suppose you are storing it in the form of table, okay, which is a combination of rows and column. Okay, now that table, there will be multiple tables. Now, collection of multiple tables is nothing but your database. This is called as the database. This is just a physical memory where you are storing the number of tables. Okay, related tables. That is database. Next term is your DBMS. What is DBMS? What is DBMS? Have you heard this term?
Database management.
Database management. S stands for system. Okay, so yeah, uh, collection of multiple tables is your database, and collection of number of database is your uh, DBMS. DBMS is not any platform. We can say it is just a software. Okay, it is just like a software, and it will use as a user interface. Okay, it act as a user interface so that user can get this required data from the required database. So that user can modify data, user can change data, remove data, add new data, create a new data, and kind of. So in order to provide the interface between user and database, basically one software system we need, and that is what we referred as a database management system. Have you heard any example of database management system? Okay, what is SQL Server? Do you know SQL Server? Let me check chat box. Collection of data and using it for analysis. Good, yes. This is the previous answer. Yeah. What is SQL Server? Okay, do you know it? Yes or no? Okay, no. It's about a query. Good. Uh, no. Language for DBMS. No. Okay, okay, good. Okay, good. Uh, Perfect. Now see, SQL Server is your something, but not in a proper way. But let's understand it here. There is a little bit confusion. Okay, SQL Server. Okay, this is your DBMS system. Okay, and SQL, only SQL. This is your programming language or query language. Okay, so using this SQL query language, you can modify, you can change, you can update, create a new database, or the means you can manipulate your database using this query language. SQL is a query language, and SQL Server, it is your that DBMS system. Okay, and uh, like SQL Server, there are different database management systems are also available, like Oracle. Okay, Oracle system, you might heard about these terms like MySQL. Okay, so these are the different SQL, these are the different DBMS system, and SQL is the query language. Okay, which is used to uh, extract a data, modify data, manipulate your data from the database. So in this particular software, you need to use this SQL language. Okay, it is a language. And SQL Server, it is your DBMS system. Database is different, DBMS is different. Now, is it clear to you all the terminologies related to data? Are these terminologies clear to you all?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good. So let me go back here. So we are here. Database is a collection of tables. Now, this is all about the all terminologies. Next point is data collection. How we are collecting our data. Okay. Okay. Can any one of you tell me uh, what is the purchase process when we go to the supermarket or to the supermarket store or to the DMart store or mall? What would be our purchase process? When you do some purchase from mall or supermarket, what is your purchase process? Is how you are proceeding with your shopping or purchase. Yes. Okay. Can any one of you explain me yes or no? Otherwise, I'll explain. Okay. Uh, to, instead of wasting time here, let me explain everything. Okay. Suppose when you go to the particular supermarket, what you will do first, you will just enter to the market, enter to the superstore market. That you take a basket. Okay, then you go to the different department of a different shelf. You just purchase a particular product of your interest, and then you proceed with the towards the cash counter, right? And whenever you come on this billing desk or cash counter, this kind of system are you can able to see over there. Okay, and whenever you come to this desk, they will just scan each and every barcode of each and every product. Okay, and they'll just list out whatever you have bought, and based on that they will print all the details of every product that will get displayed on the screen. Okay, and uh, After that, along with that, your billing number, maybe your billing details, like mode of payment that you have done with, like cash. It may be your cash payment. It may be your payment through credit card, debit cards, or from any digital wallet like phone pay, google pay, etc. So all that information is getting stored, or it stored in this particular system. Okay, and that system will fetch that information to a particular database. Okay, so for every customer, for every transaction, for every customer, all the details will get stored in the background, stored in the database in the background. Okay, and this is what we referred as the point of sale. Okay, point of sale is what, the point, it is simply the point where sales happen, or where you can able to collect the information or actual transaction details you have over there. Okay, so that is what we call as a one point of sale. Similarly, on if your store is much large enough, then there will be a number of point of sale on the same store. Okay, uh, this is the example of point of sale for DMart. This is the from one DMart store. If you consider the number of DMart store, then there will be number of point of sales. Okay, so probably there may be possibility you can collect all the uh, point of sale details from every DMart store of your city into the one database. There will be, this could be the possibility. Okay, uh, along with that, suppose you want to manage, you can keep different database for different region, like south region maintain their south region maintain their data in a one database, west region, then for one database is for east region, one is for north region, and likewise. Okay, so this is what the way to collect your data. Okay, now this is all about the collection. Okay, now transaction entry in your database, how data is getting collected. For example, this is what the particular customer, okay, on this particular date, uh, this customer has bought this product with this much of quantity, which has the unit price this one, and total sale value is 24. Okay, so each transaction is has been maintained with a single row information. Okay, each transaction, suppose there is one more customer who bought two products. Okay, so for each product there will be a separate row entry in your database. So for each transaction there will be separate entry in your database. Similarly, you can see for next customer the data has been recorded like this. So this is how the transaction entry you can able to see in any database. Okay. Now there may be possibility that your data, there may be possibility like sometimes, and right now you are just maintaining this much of information, so one table is sufficient for you. But what we can say, suppose you wanted to maintain a detailed information about each transaction, then at that time single table won't help you a lot. Okay, or it will become a messy table and you cannot do a proper analysis. So better way here is to maintain data differently. Okay, means instead of only our order id, we can have a keep a track on product id, the number of quantities sold. Okay, within that order item, then orders detail, like who placed that order, what is the status of that order, that order is created at what date, and kind of thing. User information like customer information, instead of only full name, you wanted to keep a track of these remaining details like email, gender, date of birth, location information, created at, etc. Along with that, there will be separate table for merchant information from where that product has been bought. Okay, so that information has been maintained in a different table. Country like location information maintained in a different separate table. Product information on a separate table. So as per the requirement, if you wanted to uh, maintain a very detailed data, at that point this kind of single table won't help you, and you have to keep different means related data on a different tables. So database store data in a multiple table in that way. Okay, so as you know that all these informations are related information. Okay, and once you have maintained your data in different tables, so based on IDs, based on some primary key, you can collect all these tables. Here you can able to see those links. Okay, there is a connection between each and every table, and you can access the related information based on some common key value. Okay, and that is what that is a part of data modeling. Actually, we will discuss that in detail in the upcoming sessions, but this is how the where this kind of single table won't help you to maintain detailed information. You need to maintain data in a multiple table format. Okay, till this point, is there any doubt? Look for products, scan QR code, pay. Good. Abhishek, good. Okay, till the point, is there any doubt? What about others? Quickly reply in the chat box or unmute yourself. Okay. Similarly, this is what one example we have discussed, how data is getting collected using offline system. But there is a possibility, actually not possibility, also using online systems, you can collect the data. Let's consider the example of Zomato. Hmm? Zomato basically provide one user app to us, okay, and whenever we are logging to that particular app, they already have our information as a customer, like the basic details like location, phone number, name, and everything. Okay, and whenever you whenever you place any order from this particular app. Okay, your location information, your item information, everything, or your mode of payment, all the details will be considered as your transaction entry, and that will get stored in a background in a database background database. Okay, so this is what we cannot able to see the storage, but yes, it is there. Okay, but it is there, it gets stored in the background database. Okay, so this is one way to store the database through online, um, in the online format also. Okay, so data collection, there are different ways to have the data collection, but we can means it depends on which we are referring offline. So automatically whenever you visit a particular website, any website like amazon.com, or it may be Flipkart, it may be any other website, behind that every offline system or offline sorry online system, there is in the background one database activity is always goes on. Okay, and that will just try to keep the track of customer, like our purchase history, our search history, and based on they just fetch everything for us. Okay, so this is what one way to collect the data, and they use that data for pretending that what that customer will most likely to buy a product or want to see on your website. Okay. The same data collection is there on Netflix, on YouTube also, on Google also. So similar kind of items you can able to see when you next time visit to that particular channel or to that particular website. Okay, perfect. Next point is your organizational system. Um, yeah, there are different database, and in order to deal with that database, in order to get information from that database, or in order to manipulate that database, we have to use. There is a database management system. So depends on organization and its requirement. They are using a different database and database management system. Like there is these are the common what we can say the combo pack. So Oracle Primavera is one of the database also. Okay, this is the database. You can maintain your data in this Oracle Primavera, and this can be handled using Oracle Database Management System. Okay, this is DBMS system to retrieve the data from Oracle database. Okay, in the similar way, there is the SAP, which is your database, sorry, which is your database actually. And in order to retrieve those tables or manipulate those table which is there in the SAP, you can use the SQL Server, or most probably SQL Server is used. Okay, so this is your DBMS. Okay. Now, just to give a broad view on this SAP, I just want to tell you, um, almost 1 lakh in a single SAP database, almost 1 lakh tables you can store. Okay, so this is very high in number. Okay, and it basically works like it has a different modules. Okay, and you can work on a individual module using SQL Server. Okay, so it is like a it is one platform, database platform, where it is divided into the multiple modules, and each module you can assign for each department or kind of thing. Okay, so this is what we can say these are the organizational system to maintain a data, and to use that data, they are using a different DBMS system. Similarly, there are different database also, which is also more popular, like ERP system, enterprise resource planning. Most of the educational sector or organizational sector, including Reliance, okay, they are using this ERP system to maintain their plan their resources. Okay, like let me tell you an example. Like in education sector, they are using to maintain the student information. They are using the ERP system. Okay, so this is nothing but the enterprise resource planning. They just maintain that student database in the ERP system. Your attendance, your marks, your progress, your starting information like your parent name, your phone number, emergency contact record, everything. Okay, everything related to each student has been maintained in the ERP system. Okay. Next one, there is a CRM, like customer relationship management system. So whenever you wanted to, when you want to like DMart may use the CRM system to uh, manage the customer data. Okay, then there may be some organization they are using Excel file, simple flat Excel file to maintain their data. Along with that, there will be some of the in-house applications. So particular company, they have already built their own application, and they are using those application to store their data. This could be the case. Okay, So these are the different organizational system they are using to maintain their data. Okay, perfect. Okay. Is there any doubt in the database and DBMS system or in this till now, whatever we had discussed? Is there any doubt? Good. Okay, perfect. So let's move ahead. Data sources. Okay. So this is all about a database and DBMS system. Now the point is data sources. What are the different types of data sources? So data sources here I have tried to put the list of some important data sources, but there are much more data sources are available in the market now, around 1,000 plus. You can say 1,000 plus. Okay, so Excel is your database system. Like I told you, like a CSV system. Azure Marketplace is the one kind of data source. There are different data sources provided by Azure. Okay, then SQL Server Analysis Service, Adobe Analytics, then Active Directory. There are much more, many things like web page. This data from a particular web page. This is also one kind of data source. Okay, so you like XML file. You can think of any kind of data source. Okay, why it is important to know, at least have the basic understanding of this data source? Because let me tell you one thing. Organization have all different types of data sources used for different purpose. Let me tell you example. Suppose a particular industry is there, particular organization is there. Okay, this is a organization. Under that organization, different departments are working. Okay, suppose yeah, so let's consider the example of Tata Groups. There is a separate HR department for Tata Groups. There is separate department for market. There is separate IT department, automobile department. Okay, then there will be separate admin department, everything. Okay, so under a single organization, number of departments are uh, working. Okay, and number of departments are working, and it is not the case. Suppose HR, every department maintain their own data at their own place. Okay, so suppose this HR department maintaining their data in the Excel format. Okay, uh, this marketing department maintaining their data using SQL server. Okay, IT department maintaining their data in the CSV file. uh, Automobile sector or automobile department maintaining the data using uh, what we can say web page or XML file. Okay, anything. So, and as a CEO, like suppose one manager or higher authority of Tata Group want to understand what is the current scenario of their organization. So at that time, you need to, as an analyst, you need to process each and every data comes from these different data sources. Okay, as an analyst, so it is very important to have the bit knowledge about or the enough knowledge about each and every data source. Okay, because you have to work with this data source. That CEO don't need to bother about it, because he just wanted to see the end result. That's it. But as every department maintain their data using different formats, so as an analyst, it is your responsibility to understand the each data source appropriately. Okay, so that's why understanding of this is important for you. Perfect. So this is all about the data sources. Okay. Now, next point is data source categories. As we have already discussed some of the classification in yesterday's session, The similar one is applicable for data sources as well. There are some internal data sources and external data sources. So internal data sources, which is within organization, obviously, because they are internal and they are managed by organization itself. Okay, like your Excel file, your Primavera, SAP, HR system, IoT system. These are nothing but your internal data sources. Okay. Um, Next, as against to that, there is external data sources. External means which is not internal, obviously, means which is outside your organization, and it is not managed by your organizations. So, like newspaper, it is your external data source. It is not managed by your organization. Okay, still you can access those information. No? Stock rate, Facebook information, LinkedIn information. Okay, so these are considered as your external data sources. Okay, next type of classification is on-premise and cloud. On-premise means what? Which is which is there in your premises only. Means as your college maintaining your student data, that student data is only available within your organization, means within your college only. Okay, within your institute only. That we or outside people won't have the access to your data or that student data unless and until someone give from some authority will give you permission to provide access. Okay, so this is the data which has been maintained in your institute within your premises only. Okay, and that is managed by your college, means your organization only. That is what we referred as the online sorry on premise data source. Okay, next type of as against to that, there is a next point like cloud. um, Cloud is something which is on server provided by companies, like data sources which is provided by server by other companies. Like I'm saying AWS. Okay, AWS is Amazon Web Services. So Amazon is one organization. They help you to store data. Okay, so they have maintained their data in their format only. Okay, we cannot say that them please store our data in the Excel format in your system. No, they have their own data format or own data source. Okay, and that is what we call as the cloud data sources. Azure, it is also a cloud data source. Google Drive, it is a cloud data source. Okay, you so any other company will provide you. This is on server database, which is provided by some service provider company. Okay, so and this is available for everyone, not for only your premise. Okay, so that is one kind of classification. On premise and cloud. On premise means with the things which is within your organization and it is managed by your organization only. And cloud means which is something outside your organization. Anyone can have access to those data sources. Just to make a blend of these two classification, uh, just take an example. Your data, if data is internal, you can maintain your data on premise or you can store your data on cloud. Okay. Uh, just to elaborate here, like your student information. Okay, your student information. It may be the case your college is maintaining your data in within institute only, or it may be use some cloud service to maintain your data. Okay, sometimes they may use Google Drive, or sometimes they may use Azure system to store your like student data on a cloud. Okay, this would be the case. So internal data you can maintain on a premise or on a cloud. It depends on requirement. Similarly, external data. External data which is maintained by like Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, anything like Insta, that they also can have facility to maintain their data within premises or on a cloud. But it does not matter for us because this is a kind of data which is accessible to everyone. Okay, there is no restriction for this kind of data source accessibility. Okay, so these are the different data source categories. Okay, now important point is cloud. So at the time of classification, we heard this term cloud. Cloud is something like, suppose I will just give you an example. Um, Suppose I will give you an assignment, okay, or I ask you to do some assignment on Power BI, okay, Power BI. So in order to in order to complete that assignment, you need Power BI installed. That software needs to be installed on your system, and your system or your computer, laptop don't have that enough space over here. So what you can do, you can ask someone or like a company provider. Like there are a number of company which are providing this kind of service. Okay, like Google, Amazon, Azure, anything. Okay, you just ask them to give me access of your system. Okay, because that system has the enough memory or enough configuration which is required for Power BI. Okay, and now you can take access of this particular server or this particular system uh, for a 1 or 2 hour, and you will complete your assignment using that system. Okay, and sometimes you need to pay for this service, okay, to the particular company. So on demand, whenever there is a requirement, this is what the what we can say computing power. Suppose sometimes you have some data with you and you don't have enough space to store that data on your system. So at that time, you can take the storage on rent from some cloud service companies. Okay, they will give you their server to maintain your information, and they are responsible for maintaining your information in that case. Okay, and that is what we call as the cloud or cloud computing. Okay, so cloud computing is on demand availability of computer system resources, which is basically used to store our data on a cloud, on a server of someone, something on a server of different company. Okay, and a computing power. So this is all about the cloud computing. It is on demand. If your device is not enough to store your data to complete your task, then you can access the remote system or remote server for completing your task or to store your data. That is what we call as the cloud computing. Okay. Okay. Till this point, is there any doubt? Till this point, is there any doubt? No. Good. Good. Uh, Perfect. So let's move ahead. Now, what is a data issue and data preparation? Okay, a little bit of it we have already discussed, but let's clarify here again what is data issue and why there is a need of data preparation. So we have to start our project with data only. Every business need to start with data. So we have to start with data only in order to provide better business solution to your business client. Okay, so you need to understand this data issue properly. What it will be, data will have inconsistency, like like we have discussed, like data is not maintained in the one format. somewhere data has been maintained in the date and month format, somewhere date has been maintained in the date and year format, okay, or the full date will be there. So there, this kind of inconsistency may be there. Some data has been wrongly entered. This may be the case, like in the sales column, you can by mistakenly some um, data is available, so that is what the error value. Okay, then your data may be unformatted or unstructured, some missing values will be there, some any sort of problems you can see when it comes to data. Okay, whatever data provided by your business client, that is always has some or more kind of issues. Okay, so very first thing, there is a need to prepare your data, because we cannot proceed our analysis based on this um, with this data issues. Okay, you need to recover those issues, and that is what we call as the data preparation. So sometimes unit price and sale may be given to you. Okay, and they wanted to know the profit. Okay, so you know the formula for profit, like sale price minus actual price, and that difference is nothing but your profit. So at that time you need to calculate additional data in your database. Okay, and then use data from multiple tables. Some data may be available in the one table, and in the second table remaining data will be there. So you need to proceed with such a multiple table in order to do the analysis. Then keep only the required data, whatever required means valuable data for your analysis. You just need to keep that data only. You cannot proceed with whatever data they have provided to you. Whatever is important for your analysis, just keep it and then move ahead. Okay, sum up your data. So there are different type of data preparation or transformation process. Before analysis we need to go through. Okay, and that stage we referred as the data preparation. Okay, this is important to deal with the data issue. Okay, so this is all about the data issues and data preparation. So let's sum up all the things which we have discussed in the today's session. Databases, we have started with the data and information. Then we have discussed database, which is nothing but the collection of row in the structured format. Okay, it may be in the tabular format. Mostly it is in the tabular format, but it is not the case, or it is not a mandatory thing. Okay, we have discussed the different examples of DBMS. Okay, organizational have transactional system and other type of system, like we have discussed the transactional systems like SAP, ERP. Okay, Excel file, then CRM. All these are nothing but the transactional systems, okay, which is used by different organizations. Then we have classified the data source based on internal, external, and on premises and on cloud. Okay, and then at the last, we have discussed data issue and data preparation. Perfect. So this is all. This is how your second chapter is completed. That is related data sources. I hope you have the pretty much clear idea about what is data sources. Okay. Is there any doubt from your side from chapter two? Okay. Good. Okay, then perfect. I think with that, I consider you don't have any doubt. So with that, we can conclude today's session. We will rejoin tomorrow with the new chapter, chapter number 3. Okay. Okay. Before that, I just going to send you one this PBI installation file. Okay, this will help you to install Power BI software on your system. Okay, all the information, or the captures, all the screenshot I have already provided over here. So you just go through this particular PPT in order to do the installation on your system. Okay, and be ready with this Power BI install on your system. Okay. So from the next chapter, we will we have to start with your Power BI desktop visualization part. Okay. So from next unit, from next chapter, we need this Power BI install on your system. So I will share this PPTs, all the PPTs till now.